every year I feel like we reach this new level, and we always feel like we're at the bottom,
Right.
which is probably a good thing. Our fiddle player gave me a phone call. It's like, hey, we're looking for a guitar player. Do you want an audition? I was like, heck yeah. He called me and said, hey, I had 3 days to learn like 20 songs for the set.
Rodeo time. Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. One thing I didn't realize when I moved to Texas, how close I'd be to some very cool people. This guy right next to me, Jake Mears, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So Jake is the lead guitarist for Cody Johnson. And if you guys don't know who Cody Johnson is, you need to get out and live a little. How is that? I mean, you guys have been together for a long time. You got to start at the beginning with him to now where you're at.
Yeah, I've been on, this is year 10, and he was already, like in the Texas scene, he was pretty much at the top. So I kind of bypassed his van days. I jumped on and I was in a bus, and it's been great. Like ever since I've been on, it's kind of been an uphill climb, you know, and it's just every year I feel like we reach this new level, and we always feel like we're at the bottom,
Right.
which is probably a good thing. You know, you never feel like you peaked out yet. So it's been good. It's been long, you know.
Right.
We've done the whole like 30 and 40 days gone at a time, and it's starting to slow down a little bit now, which is good, but it's great. It's a good thing to be a part of for sure.
Well, I mean, a lot of people obviously know Cody. They know his music. They know the band. But what I'm interested in, and we've talked about it a little bit just since getting to know you, but how'd you get started in the guitar, in the music industry, and what made you want to pursue that as a career?
Well, my whole family plays. My mom and dad played when I was growing up. They did all the music for the church that we went to, and I had uncles that play and aunts that play. It's like the whole family is pretty musically, you know, coordinated, I guess. And at a young age, we started playing in church with our parents. My brother plays everything. He plays fiddle, guitar, mandolin.
Wow.
He plays bass. And I've started out playing banjo. And around here, there used to be a big bluegrass like following. They used to have in Glen Rose, they used to have 2 or 3 bluegrass festivals a year. So we started doing that. And then my family, we started traveling. We play all these bluegrass festivals all over Texas, and started going to Oklahoma and Arkansas and Mississippi. And then on Sundays, we'd go play at random churches all over. And then my dad, he passed away when I was 11. And I had an uncle that played kind of in the bar scene, like around the stockyards and Fort Worth and stuff. So me and my brother, we started kind of getting into that with him. And
So that would kind of transition you over from banjo bluegrass to more of the country music type scene?
At the time, I think my brother he was in high school, and he played bass in a jazz band for the high school. And so he was already playing electric bass, and I picked up an electric guitar. And then I was 12, 13 years old playing in bars. Like on our like set breaks, we'd play like an hour at a time, and then we'd have a 15-minute break, and they'd make me go outside. It's like, you can't stay in the bar, you know, type deal. And I did that all through, you know, middle school, high school. And I went to Tarleton for a year, and Steve Stone, he played bass for Casey Downey forever. He lives not too far from here. And I've got to know him from living around here. And a guy named Sam Riggs was looking for a guitar player, and he was a rising act on the Texas scene. Steve's like, hey, call this kid. He might be interested. And that's how I got my first like road gig, you know. And
so that you were a year at Tarleton and then started getting calls to come join these bands because they obviously seen the talent you had.
And I mean, at the time I was probably a dumb kid. I probably should have stayed in school a little longer.
I don't know. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it worked out the way it was supposed to. But I took that gig, and we opened for Cody quite a bit. And I was already kind of on the outs on the Sam gig, just because it was more of a rock thing. Just wasn't my deal. And our fiddle player now, Jody, gave me a phone call. It's like, hey, we're looking for a guitar player. do you want an audition? I was like, heck yeah. I'd been around those guys and met them enough, and of course, liked Cody's music. It was
Right.
country, and so got the audition, and it was right around, I guess, 2015, and it was close to I think they played the NFR. They played the buckle ceremony.
Oh, at the South Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they came back, I think we did a run before Christmas, and that was like my first real audition run with them, and played one show at the Cotillion in Kansas. And Cody's like, "You want the job?" Or I was like, "Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah." And now we're here.
Well, I was just that's curious. It's interesting because when you say you audition, it was like, do you go and play in a studio with them or at a soundstage? But you actually, granted, they'd seen you a few years, knew your talent, so they just kind of threw you in there and said, "Let's go."
Well, I had one, I guess, formal audition that Cody was not there.
Mhm.
It was just the band and our manager Howie and our tour manager Jackson at the old. I think it just shut down, the Harry's in College Station.
Okay.
They set up in that club, and I went in there and they gave me 4 songs to play, and I played the 4 songs and pretty much waited for a call. Of course, back then I was like anxious. I was
Right.
like texting Jody like every day, and he's like, "Dude, I'm in Vegas." Like and at the time they had a fill-in guitar player, and as soon as I got home from Vegas, he called me and said, "Hey, I have 3 days to learn like 20 songs for the set." He goes, "Hey, we want to take you on the road this weekend, see how it works." So I learned the set, and I was pretty freaking nervous because you really want something. You're like, all right, I just got to make sure this is perfect.
Right.
And
probably, I know with me, if you want something so perfect, then you have doubt in the back of your mind. Did I prepare enough?
Yeah.
Am I ready for this?
Sure. And I'm have the worst like rehearsal and practice techniques, but Jody did his job. Like he sent me like live board tapes, made sure I had every record and every song. And of course, the way we play stuff live might not be the same as the record. So I had to like try to combine the two. And at the same time, like every guitar player is different,
Yeah.
Like I might play something a little bit different than the last guy or whatever. And then it's just, well, do they like it or they don't like it? But it worked out.
What does it entail to get ready for a 20 song set in 3 days? I mean, I don't know how to read music. All I could hear it, and I scream it usually when I sing, and it sounds horrible. But how do you learn that?
Man, everybody's probably gonna laugh because most guys that I know that do what I do for a living, they have a whole computer set up, and they can like put the songs on their computer, and they have they can plug their guitar into their computer and play along with it and record it. And I think I just had like a Bluetooth speaker that I set up like on a desk, and I just plugged into my amp and played along with the stuff. And I just played the songs over and over and over again. And of course, in a live show, you have transitions into songs.
Right.
So there might be like a 30-second segment where it's not really a song, but it's like a musical piece that's going into the next song, out of the last one. So I had to learn all that too. So I basically just pressed play on the live show recording they sent me and just tried to learn what he was doing. And if I came up with something cool that I could do, I threw it in there.
Right.
I guess it worked,
There is one thing we will talk about: how much better of a team roper you are than Cody.
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like to think so.
Well, obviously, and the results show it.
Yeah. Well, when you talk to him, it's probably going to be a different story. We have this thing, where we butt heads about who's better, but I have a higher head card number than he does. So.
Well, and I mean, I think if you look at earnings from the World Series, you might have a little bit more.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
We're not getting into financials and World Series, but it is fun. One of the first concerts I went and seen you guys play, I love how he interacts with the crowd, but how much he interacts with the band members during the concert. And that's obviously, I hadn't got to know you yet, but when he was talking about you and him button heads, who's the better roper, who's the better cowboy, to me, that just shows the relationship in the band that, the guy that is singing and carrying on is involved with you guys.
Yeah. There's a lot of bands, of course, like getting or playing the places we do and playing with the people we do, especially like on the, I guess, more national scene. Some of these guys, like, they have a different band every year.
Oh, wow.
they might have the same like band leader
Mhm.
that follows them, for a couple years, but it's not like a core group of guys that stay with them for the long haul. And we might be a little bit different in that aspect because I'm still one of the newer guys. Our steel player and our keyboard player came on after I did, but our fiddle player, bass player, and drummer, they've been there at least 3 or 4 years longer than I have.
Wow.
So they've been with him like since the very beginning, and it's like a group of brothers.
Well, I wanted to talk more team roping, but now that you brought that up, you think about it as George Strait and Ace in the Hole.
Yes, yeah.
Chris
Like,
Ledoux and his band.
Those guys were together the whole time.
Yeah.
It's the same group of guys. And like on our aspect, like I'm not the best guitar player Cody could go get,
Well, I think he would argue that.
Maybe, but there's always somebody out there that's better off than you are. There's somebody that's worse than you are, and I think all of us know that. But when we all play together, it's just the way we gel together,
Right.
the way we, it's almost like I can read his mind,
Mm-hmm.
And I've sang with Cody long enough. Like if he's going to go real high or do this run, it's like I know,
Yeah.
And the same way with the other guys. Like I could look at Jody and Jody will look at me and we'll play a twin part just randomly.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah. Just
Wow.
almost note for note and nail it just because we play together enough, like we know that's where we're going.
So when you guys do that and you get off stage, you're like, man, that was freaking awesome. We just killed that. Like the energy, obviously, the connection and the energy, and knowing that you guys just did something with really zero communication.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, we have talkback mics, and of course, we can like talk to one another. But when you're in the middle of a song, it's not like you can talk to each other. But I feel like if you play with somebody just for a year, like you do a tour for a year or two, you don't get that. I don't know if it's like telepathically or whatever. Like you don't get that unless if you play with somebody long enough. Like when I play with my brother or my mom or something, I'm the same way because I played with them my whole life.
Right. It's kind of like reading your wife's mind, like they expect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that works out half the time.
Oops. We're probably gonna air that. Sorry. Well, okay. Let's go back team roping. Head number. What are you now?
Straight 5.
Straight 5.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask because Nashville is actually having a rodeo the end of May, PRCA rodeo. Are you guys gonna be in Nashville the end of May?
I don't know.
We might have to enter.
I live my life like 2 weeks out. Like, I know what's like happening in 2 weeks. So.
Well, I'm the same way. But if you guys are there, I was thinking if you're going to be there, we should enter the PRCA rodeo in Nashville.
I'm in.
Maybe we just do it anyway. You can go. You don't go to Nashville enough anyway, right?
No.
Well, and I know you guys are a musical family, but you also had a family ranch here, and like I said, not too far. We're not going to disclose a location because we have weirdos out there. Was that something you seen yourself doing, moving out here on the ranch like you are now?
Not really. I mean, I've always wanted to, like from a young age, like I feel like maybe not now, but my age group and before, like every boy at some point wanted to be a cowboy.
Right. Yeah.
At one point or time. And my granddad, he always had cows, so I was always around cows growing up. And his brother, he was the horse guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he roped and rodeoed and rode bulls and stuff like that. So probably at 11 or 12, every summer my mom would just ship me to my uncle's house, and I stayed the whole summer with my uncle. We roped almost every night, worked cows, and he had some friends that had cutting horses, and I'd go warm their cutting horses up at cuttings. So I was getting on all these different horses and stuff, which was great.
Different feel, absolutely.
Yeah. And then from then on, I was like, I want to do that. So I started trying to high school rodeo a little bit, but I played music on the weekends, which kind of made that hard.
Yeah.
I tried to make just enough to like make the finals, and but I never thought that it was like playing music, like that's just what we did.
Yeah.
So if I was at home and it wasn't summertime, like I was playing music, I wasn't on a horse, wasn't getting to rope during the year, but I guess it was 2019. My uncle, he got pretty sick, and he had this place, and he had a couple more places, and I was already kind of helping him. He was getting older and couldn't get around great. So me and my brother started helping. We'd go check cows and work cows and just take care of his stuff. And he was never married, didn't have kids. So when he passed away, before he passed away, he asked us, he said, is this something that y'all would want to take care of? And we were like, absolutely.
That's awesome.
So it was, it was kind of a gift from God that we were, born in that family, and it was just kind of laid at our feet, and we just took it up. And there's plenty of people out there that would, want to sell it off for the money or whatever. But it's kind of like a family heritage thing, and it's something that we enjoy doing, that we want to do. And it's good for my kids. Like my kids, they learn something every day, being around horses and cows, and it's a good way to live and a good way for them to grow up. So
that's same way I was raised, and my brothers, and giving that same opportunity to our kids that we had, I think is what keeps us so tight, so close, and makes our kids want to be like we are. Welcome back to Luke Branquinho Show. I've got Jake Mears here with me, and we've been talking about team roping. We've been talking about stage life, traveling on the music trail. Jake, I got to ask you, because my wife experienced a little bit of it with me being gone rodeoing. Shelby and the four boys, you gone out on the road, kind of a similar situation.
Yeah. It takes a good woman to deal with that.
Absolutely.
For sure. I got four boys at the house. A 10, 8-year-old, and then I have twins that are 4. And the first two, I felt like I was gone all the time.
Yeah.
And felt like I missed the whole baby stage and everything like that. And my wife's never, not one time, asked me to slow down or stop or anything. She just kind of put up with it, because she knew that's what I did. And she's never argued with me about anything as far as that. And it's got to be tough, because it's tough on me being gone, because there's things that I miss that I want to be here for, but she's always been like the rock and just kind of stayed steady,
Held everything together at home while you're out there working. And very similar with Lindsay and I, and our travel schedule, we were gone 250, 280 days out of the year when I was gone. And you said it just right. You feel like you miss the baby stages of the kids growing up.
Yes, I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones too.
Are your kids kind of following the musical path?
I have one, my 8-year-old. He can hear everything. Like, I'll sit down with an acoustic at the house or something, and we'll sing, and he can sing, like, sings on key. And
wow.
One of my younger ones is the same way, but he's usually, like, my 8-year-old's like, whatever I'm doing is what he wants to do. Like, we did the youth ranch rodeo for a while, so he's into horses and stuff, and slowly starting to get into the rope and stuff. He can rope the dummy, he'll rope it 8 out of 10 times, and before I left, we started tracking cows and horseback. So it's usually like whatever Dad's doing, he wants to do.
Right.
But he's a kid that can just pick anything up like that.
Man, Jake, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. This has been awesome. And I'm looking forward to actually getting behind the barrier and roping with you. We haven't entered. You came to the house and practiced, but we have not entered a roping yet. I'm gonna hit you up about Nashville.
Cody's having his roping again in October.
The CoJo.
Yeah.
That was a great event last year.
Yeah.
Did you win some money?
I did.
I didn't.
Cody didn't either, so.
Because you're the superior team roper.
Just try to be,
Right.
Probably got a little bit better of a horse, I can throw it a little bit further.
Key to reach.
Yeah.
You have to outreach him. Well, man, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to getting to a show and watching you guys again and getting in the arena.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, Jake, I got some rapid fire questions for you. Your favorite concert venue?
Grizzly Rose, Denver.
Okay, favorite instrument other than the guitar?
Banjo.
Favorite rodeo event?
Team roping.
All right, favorite band other than your own?
They're not together anymore, but the Steelwoods.
I don't guess I've ever heard of them.
Man, they're phenomenal.
Most unusual thing on your rider?
I I've never even seen our rider, so I couldn't tell you.
There you go. You don't have to worry about what it is. He doesn't even see it. All right. There you have it. Rapid fire questions with Jake Mears. Hey, you want to see more in-depth details on the Luke Branquinho Show? Make sure you like and subscribe.